Hey, what's up, Triple P Nation? This week's episode is brought to you by Triple P Life Nutrition, helping you optimize your health and performance.
Welcome.
To the age of awakening.
Please identify yourself. Enter.
Hey, Triple P Nation, welcome back to the podcast, where this week we're going to explore the tools, tactics, and strategies to help you achieve personal and business mastery. The mission of this podcast, as you probably know, is to help entrepreneurs and professionals like you to learn and grow in the four key areas of life. We want you to expand in every area, mentally, physically, spiritually, and financially, so you can start living what we call your Triple P life, which is all about empowering your dreams, igniting your passion, and accelerating your prosperity. Now, this week is part 3 of the 3-part series that I've done, that we are talking about the biggest challenges facing entrepreneurs in today's business climate. And so if you've yet to check out episodes 233 and 4, part 1 and part 2, I'd highly recommend you do it. We covered a lot of great content in those. I discussed the 10 that you need to be concerned about. We went in specifically on the first episode. We talked about 10 ways to increase your financial resources. And I talked about how to deal with market competition. And I also talked about 10 ways to become more competitive. And in last week's episode, we talked about resource constraints. What is constraining your ability to expand and grow your business? And then, of course, we spent a lot of time on talent acquisition and, just as importantly, retention. Now, these are just 5 of the 10. I'm going to cover 2 more today, and that be cash flow management, and the second one being customer acquisition and retention. So that's 7 of the 10. You can go back and listen to all 10 that I discussed at length, both the first episode and the second episode of this entrepreneurial trilogy. And the reason I'm doing this is because, as I mentioned, we opened up our 19th new business. That's between startups and acquisitions over the last 30-something years. And it's been an incredible ride. Made a lot of mistakes. I've had a couple that fail. Most of them have done well. Some have done exceptionally well. And I'm very grateful for that. So I've learned a lot. I've had a lot of experiences. And as you probably know, because I talk about this a lot, I've learned a lot more from my failures than I have from my accomplishments. Because let's face it, when things are humming along smoothly, we typically don't step back and start to reflect, okay, why is this doing so well? We do so, at least I hope we do so, is, when we tend to throw up all over ourselves and go, how did that happen? Where did it go wrong? Why was this such a disaster? So I want to share with you all the experiences that I've had, and to tell you what I've learned and share with you what I've learned. So if you're an entrepreneur, you could take this material and, my gosh, you can transcend your business to whole new levels. Think of it as kind of a mental checklist where you can look at it and go, yep, we got this dialed in, Jay. Nah, we might need some help there, or we need to look at this much closer. So this is specifically for my entrepreneurs. I have a one-time offer for you here today, and it's worth $1,000, and it's my gift to you. If you hang around to the end of the show, I'm going to tell you how you can get this $1,000 gift that I will give to you. It's a proprietary business evaluation that clients spend a lot of money to do. And basically what it does, it's very in-depth, and it looks at the 8 key areas in business and helps you identify where your bottlenecks, where your constraints, what you suck at, what you're good at. So right, from an awareness standpoint, okay, if we're going to make the growth changes that we want to, these are the areas we really need to focus. And it gives you kind of a head start and a leg up on a lot of your competitors. And look, you may even decide, I need help in these areas. I just don't know how to solve them on your own. But it's going to be my gift to you that I guarantee you will absolutely help you transcend your business and your life. And it's my pledge to you, but you got to stick around to the end. So We start each show with our success snacks. And this particular success snack was inspired from an interview I was listening to. And honestly, I can't remember who it was. I listened to so many things. But the guest was talking about quiet time. And it got me to thinking, based on the context of the conversation, is there ever a time when quiet time is not a good thing? Well, let me give you some pretext to this. For those of you who've heard my story, angry, negative, almost lost it all in business and family, just an absolute train wreck in my late 20s, early 30s. And, had no clue on what to do, had no clue who I needed to become. And one day I stepped into a Borders bookstore and I know, guys, it was 1990, give me a break. And I was drawn to an area in the bookstore way back in a corner, self-help, been there. And literally this far shelf on the bottom, I was drawn like God was guiding me. Hey, you go here, man. All right, follow me. And I was humble enough to listen. And at the bottom of the shelf was a cassette tape. Again, it was 1990, cut me a break, from Deepak Chopra on the benefits and the emotional and spiritual healings of meditation. And I bought it, got home, and I started listening to it and over every single day, every morning, and literally began to shift and change my mindset. So I'm a big, big fan of quiet time. Quiet time is essential for me, right? To clear my mind, to prepare myself for success, to see my future, to see my day, to know how I want to engage and show up for each key aspect of my day, whether I'm having a meeting with my team or if I'm going to be talking to a new client, whatever it might be, or having a conversation with my wife. And so I think about, how do I want to show up? Number one. Number two is, what is the outcome I'm looking for? And who do I need to be at that particular meeting to get the best results? So it's being intentional. So I'm a big fan of quiet time and meditation. But is there ever a time when quiet time is not a good thing? And the answer is yes, I believe. And here's when. Again, I've coached a lot of people throughout the years at our seminars. And I hear people telling me all the time, Jay, I just cannot meditate. Like, my head is just spinning. I got a million thoughts running through my head. You just don't understand. And you're right, I don't, right? Not to the level in which you might be experiencing it. Here's the caveat. If you stay in that state, eventually the thoughts will start to slow down if you follow the techniques I teach you. But for those of you who are constantly having thoughts, but those thoughts are overwhelmingly negative over and over and over, I think it's actually better to stop and keep forcing it and reinforcing those negative thoughts and pull yourself out of it. And that's when I want you to replace it with good info, whether it's a great podcast or reading a book or having a great conversation with a friend. In other words, figure out a way to insulate your mindset from the negative limiting beliefs that you're flooding and bombarding yourself when you're trying to be quiet, and then eventually replace it, or immediately replace it as quickly as you can, with some empowering content and thought. And I believe over time, the more you do this, it will become easier as you begin to practice quiet time, because ultimately you're going to need to do this, because quiet time is when you build you. It's when you're in tune with the infinite wisdom of the universe, call it God, whatever you might want to be. But that's when you get inspired, is through quiet time. So negative thoughts, pull yourself out of it, replace it with powering information content, go back to it. As those limiting beliefs begin to quiet down, listen to the inspiration that comes to your heart. It'll change your mind. All right. Just a little housekeeping here. If you haven't done so recently, guys, go to your favorite podcast app, give us a rating or review. Love it. Love to hear your thoughts and comments about the show, the content, me, whatever. 5-star review would be great. If you want to give me a 1 star, hey, that's okay too. At least I know you're listening. If you're on YouTube, Triple P Life on YouTube. If you haven't checked out the show on YouTube, I'm kind of dressed down today, t-shirt and a hat. I want to get this content out to you. So, but go there, subscribe and follow so you know when the next episodes are going to be dropped. We've got some great guests coming up. I've been doing a narrative show here for quite some time. I want to get this content out to you, but I've got great guests coming up here soon. I'm sure they're going to inspire you. So make sure you check those out in the coming weeks. And, but yeah, I'd love to hear your thoughts. Leave comments below, rate, review, subscribe, all those things. I would greatly appreciate it. Okay, part 3, some of the biggest challenges facing entrepreneurs today. So the 2 that I mentioned that we're going to focus on is cash flow management and customer acquisition and retention. Now, let's face it, guys. If you're struggling with cash flow, you're struggling in business. And no one wants to be in the struggle bus when it comes to cash flow. It's so stressful. It's what keeps you up at night. It creates the anxiety. It's where we make poor decisions. By the way, do you know when you're stressed, literally when your body's producing cortisol, when your anxiety levels are high, it literally inhibits the prefrontal cortex of your brain. And what that means is your prefrontal cortex is the logic center. It's your ability to process and think logically and clearly. So the higher levels of stress you're experiencing, low cash flow, your ability to make good decisions decreases, which just compounds and makes the problem worse. So cash flow is the ability to maintain your cash flow in a healthy, vibrant way. And of course, this is critical for your small business so you can cover your expenses, you can pay yourself, you can invest in growth opportunities, right? You can handle unknown factors that may occur. So it's really important to be able to maintain a very, very healthy cash flow. So let's talk about some of the strategies to do so. So the first one is forecast your cash flow. You've got to be able to develop a cash flow forecast so you can predict your business's future cash inflows and outflows. So what is your anticipated expenses? How much revenue do you anticipate creating over the next 90 days, 6 months, 12 months? You should be doing this annually and then updating it quarterly. You want to estimate your expected sales revenues, estimate your expected expenses, as I mentioned, and any other cash transactions on that quarterly basis. Now, this is going to help you anticipate potential cash shortages or surpluses that you might have so you can make better informed decisions so you can manage your cash flow as effectively as possible. Now, these are projections, and projections, are subject to change, but at least you have something to follow and anticipate so you don't get distracted by bright, shiny objects and go purchase something, A, that you're not prepared for or don't anticipate having the revenue for. And so you can be mindful of making really good decisions. And then you should be following each and every day. Again, one of the things I notice with small business entrepreneurs, I ask them about their numbers and they kind of have it, again, some, right? Some know them intricately, in and out, all their metrics, all their KPIs. But far too many just kind of haphazard. Well, I think I'm here, I'm thinking there, but they really don't know. And I'm telling you, if you're going to effectively run a successful business, you need to know your numbers. And at the very least, weekly. I like to do it daily, each and every morning. I have reports in my inbox. I know how much revenue was produced, how much sales was done, so on and so forth. So I can be right on top of it. Number 2 is you want to monitor it, like I just said, right? You want to keep a really close eye on your cash flow by monitoring the actual inflow of money and outflow, right? You want to use your software and cash management tools to track transactions in real time so you can identify any discrepancies or trends that may require your attention. So regular tracking, as I just said, daily, at the very least weekly, but I like to do it daily. Number 3 is you want to manage your accounts receivables. Again, when I talk to entrepreneurs is, when was the last time you run an AR report? I don't know. Or a year ago. Man, that's not good because you can pick up trends in your AR reports if you're doing a proper job and if you're doing it at least consistently. Again, I like to do things quarterly. There's some reports that we do daily, some weekly, some monthly, some quarterly, some annually. So think about it, implementing strategies to accelerate accounts receivable collections so you can improve your cash flow. Because the longer the debt is out there, the more difficult it becomes to collect. Make sure you're invoicing customers promptly and make sure you're doing it accurately so there's no discrepancies. You can offer discounts for early payment. You can follow up on any overdue payments with reminders and collection efforts. Considering offering alternative payment sources such as online payments, installment plans, things like that. I'm a big believer in having multiple payment options. This is something I developed, and I say, in our businesses, we have multiple payment options for virtually every budget. So if you're really serious about doing business with us, we'll figure out something that works for you. Now, does that 100% eliminate the anxiety when it comes to, the money conversation? No, but it certainly minimizes it, and they know that you're willing to work with them. And most people are great about it. Number 4, I want you to think about negotiating payment terms with your suppliers. Now, you can negotiate favorable payment terms with suppliers so you can optimize your cash flow. You can request extended payment terms. You could, look for discounts for early payments or installment plans to better align with your cash flows, with your cash outflows. So I want you to build strong relationships with all your suppliers, and I want you to communicate with them frequently and openly about all your cash flow needs so you can negotiate mutually beneficial terms for them and for you. Number 5, you got to control your operating expenses. And again, I've said this in the last 2 episodes, but you cannot cut your way to growth, right? Smart to be on top of your expenses, but you cannot cut your way to growth. So if you're going to control your operating expenses, you got to review your operating expenses regularly. You got to identify opportunities to reduce some of the costs there's a key, without sacrificing any quality or efficiency. It's cutting the unnecessary expenses. It's renegotiating contracts with vendors and your ability to explore cost-saving measures such as energy efficient improvements or outsourcing non-core functions. You really need to be proactive in managing your expenses so you can preserve cash and improve the overall bottom line. All right, number 6 on our hit list of managing cash flow is to maintain adequate cash reserves. I like to keep a month to 2 months of overhead as cash reserves. But until you get there, you want to make sure you build adequate cash reserves so you can cover any expected expense or emergency or any variation or fluctuation in your cash flow. I want you to set aside a portion of your revenue each month into a dedicated cash reserve account so you can create a financial safety net for your business. Having sufficient cash reserves is going to provide you really peace of mind. It's going to help you sleep at night, help you weather those times of economic downturn or uncertainty. And the final one is exploring your financial options. Consider exploring financial options so you can bridge short-term cash flow gaps or fund strategic growth initiatives. Explore small business loans, lines of credit. Every small business should have a line of credit, or business credit cards, so you can access additional capital when needed. Although this is a last resort type of thing, okay? Also, compare interest rates, compare the terms, look at the fees. How do they differ from lenders? So you can find the most cost-effective and financing solution for your business cash flow needs. So there's a lot of options out there. You just got to be diligent in understanding what the terms and rates and fees are so you're making a really good decision for your business. So these are just some of the simple strategies that I've used to help manage cash flow in my businesses. That helps me improve financial stability so I can position my business for long-term success. Now, the last one that we're going to cover in this series is customer acquisition and retention. Because let's face it, if we don't have enough customers coming in the door, if we're not retaining the ones that we already have, good luck. Good luck at sustained growth. Good luck at being profitable. So here's my top hit list for you guys. And we're going to cover 7 of them here. The first, and in no particular order, but the first one I have here is I want you to identify your target audience. Key. Absolutely key. Who utilizes your business, right? I always like to tell my entrepreneurs, think about 3 or 5 of your favorite customers, right? Write their names down and they can do it instantly. Then I want you to think about what traits do they share? What characteristics do they share? Maybe they're between the ages of 40 and 60. Maybe it's more female than male. Maybe they're professionals. Maybe they're people who exercise or work out, or they invest in their health or their well-being. Maybe their income is over 100K or 150K. Maybe they play pickleball. I don't know. But know your target audience, know the demographics, understand what are their preferences, what are their behaviors, what are their pain points. The best way to do this, the best way, guys, is to do some simple market research so you can gather some insight into your ideal customer and then create a detailed profile and buyer persona that represents your target audience. See, the key here is tailoring then your marketing message and strategies to effectively reach those people so you can engage with them, so you can speak directly to them, right? That's when we talk about our why. That's when we talk about why we do, our passion. And then when they feel like we're literally speaking with them, that's how we create that tribe, and those people come find us. And then we have a tribe of people in our business who love us because they resonate in what we believe in. And the key to long-term success in relationship is when we share mutual values, when there's an overlap of mutual values. When values don't overline, what happens over time is there's no long-term relationship there. This is a short-term engagement. These people do not refer, they do not stay. But when you have an overlining of values, these people stay for a lifetime. They're always referring. But you've got to take the time and really understand who your target audience is. Big one. Okay, number 2 is provide exceptional customer service. Yeah, like that's a new one. But seriously, right? It may sound trite, but man, you've got to do whatever you can to deliver exceptional customer service. Everyone says, well, we take care of the customer. You know what? Most places don't. They really don't. And if that is their standard, well, I just don't hang around very long because me, the consumer or the business owner needs to be treated exceptionally, needs to be respected, needs to feel like they matter, like they're the most important person in the business, not the employee. They're the second most important, certainly not the owner. You got to think about how you can exceed customer expectations. I always talk about this at your weekly meetings, each and every day. What can we do today to exceed our customer expectation? Sometimes it's putting fresh fruit out, right? Maybe it's fresh cut flowers, doing something unique and different within your business that they didn't expect. I want you to think about training your employees to acknowledge and be attentive and responsive to all your customer needs. Customer service first, customer focus first. Listen to them, hear their feedback, make sure any concerns are promptly addressed, and go above and beyond to ensure that you can meet their satisfaction. A positive customer experience can lead to repeat business and referral, and a long way towards loyalty. And you probably know in social media today with Google and Yelp and all these platforms, one bad customer review, man, they're hard to deal with. You've got to get, dozens and dozens to push that down to pages 2, 3, and 4 so it doesn't come up the first one when people are checking your business out and they're looking at your Google reviews. And there's a solution how to deal with that appropriately as well, too, but we're not going to talk about that here today. If that's something you're interested in, email me, drjay at PPP-Life. And if you're interested to learn, I'll do it. All right, number 3, offer value-driven products or services. Sounds logical, right? But are you providing products and or services that are truly meeting the needs of your customers, in particular your target audience? Are you focused on solving the customer problem? Do you know what their problem is? Do you know what their pain points are? If you have identified your target audience, you should know what their pain points are. Are you delivering tangible benefits and outcomes? Are they repeatable? Do you communicate in a unique value proposition manner of your offerings? And then do you differentiate yourself from your competitors to attract and retain those customers? If people leave you to go to a competing business for $3, $4, and $5, you got an issue. You got an issue. Now, if it happens once or twice, not a big deal. But if you're seeing it over and over, that's on you, not on them. They're not perceiving the value because a satisfied customer does not leave for a $2, $3, $4, $5, even a $10 difference because they know they're not going to get the same valued experience as they're getting in your practice or your business. Number 4, Implement multi-channel marketing. What does that mean? Well, what it means is I want you to reach customers through multiple marketing channels to maximize your reach and visibility. I want you to develop a comprehensive marketing strategy that includes a mix of online and offline channels. Of course, social media, email marketing, content marketing, search engine optimization, paid advertising, yes, even direct mail, depending on your business, internal events, external events, networking. So there was 8 right there. You got to use targeted messaging and personalized communication to engage with customers across different touch points and drive conversation, because people are coming at your business in so many different ways. So you've got to be available in all those areas so they see and hear you and get to know you and become interested in doing work with you. Again, I'm going to emphasize your target audience. When you've got that dialed in, you know what kind of ads to run. If your ads are not in line with your target audience, it's not going to resonate, and you're just spending a ton of money that's going to fall flat, and you're going to get, very, very poor ROI. And then some people are just not comfortable on social media. I get it, but there's businesses that do this and will do it for you. But if you can have a personalized touch and do some of it yourself, or your team do it yourself, when there's a level of personalization, becomes real, becomes relatable, becomes connectable. So if you haven't done it, think about implementing it, especially when you know your why. Because when you can communicate it passionately, it's going to connect to people. All right, number, 5? Of course, we want to build strong relationships. We want to cultivate strong relationships with each of our customers. And this is built on some really simple values here, guys. It's built on trust, transparency, authenticity, and respect. Make sure you're engaging with them regularly through various communication channels, right? Whether it's social media, email, newsletters, text messages, phone calls, right? Show them appreciation for their loyalty and support, and then demonstrate your commitment to their satisfaction and ongoing success. Make sure you're building strong relationships, because that will increase your customer retention, and that's a lifetime value. It's calculable, but compared to a new client, it's almost incalculable. Not nearly enough entrepreneurs spend enough time focusing on customer retention. I've got a whole program for this. So if something you're interested in, let me know. Number 6 is leveraging your customer feedback and data. So gather feedback from your customers. You've heard me say this on each of the 3 shows, through surveys, do reviews, get testimonials, gain valuable insights into their preferences. Let them tell you and tell others about their experience. Let them share with you their level of satisfaction. I want you to use feedback to identify areas of improvement. We all have it. And if you're not getting it, you're missing valuable information that could transcend your business, because these become obstacles and barriers for growth. This way, you're going to be able to make data-driven decisions, and then you'll be able to optimize your products, optimize your services, and of course, optimize your customer experience. Analyze customer data. Analyze the behavior so you can segment your audience, personalize your marketing, and target customers with relevant offers and messages that resonate with them. And then finally, loyalty, we got to reward it, and we want to encourage referrals. So do you have a reward loyalty program for your customers? Do you incentivize them to refer? Do you provide discounts? Do you provide exclusive perks to show appreciation for their continued support? Have you implemented a customer loyalty program to incentivize repeat purchases and encourage customer retention? We need to encourage as much satisfaction in our customers so they refer their friends and family and colleagues to your business by offering these referral bonuses and discounts or rewards. Listen, guys, word of mouth referrals may be the most powerful driver of customer acquisition that will expand your customer base. And it can do it organically because they're hearing from their friends who've had great results, who, of course, they love and trust. And if it's coming directly from them, if these people saw you on social media, that's a cold lead, but they're already a warm lead because they're coming from a respected source who just vouched for you. So let me take a second to review these, because these are really important. customer acquisition retention. Number one, identify your target audience. 2, provide exceptional customer service. 3, you've got to offer value-driven products or services. Does it get the results that you want? 4 is you got to implement multi-channel marketing. 5 is you got to build strong relationships. 6, leverage customers' feedback and data. And 8, reward loyalty and encourage referrals. So that wraps up our 3-part series on the challenges facing entrepreneurship and business owners, small business owners over the next 12 to 18 months. Again, I mentioned to you, I'm an optimist, and I really believe that economically there's going to be a turnaround, but it's going to be a while yet, and there's more pain to go through. And there's a lot of reasons for that. I'm not going to get into them here right now, but they're real. And market forces are really not showing any tampering down on inflation. And so the inflation that was built into the economy, a year and a half, 2 years ago is there. It hasn't decreased, and it's still growing at 3.6%. That's why everything's more expensive, which means there's less discretionary income for people to spend, which means we have to be even better as entrepreneurs because people have less money to spend. You know it. You see it in your own life. You can do this. You can be exceptional, right? Simple formulas, being aware, taking stock, looking at it, and assessing it properly so you know how and where you need to grow and put your time and effort and energy. Because listen, guys, I believe you were designed to be an exceptional entrepreneur, to be an exceptional person. It's just know-how and want to. And if you're an entrepreneur, I know you have the want to. Then it's just about making sure you have the right information. So as I wrap up this show, I said to you, I'm willing to share with you my proprietary business audit. This is an extensive assessment and evaluation. If you're somebody who's interested in learning more about your business, what's working, what's not working, where are the issues in my business? How can I grow, right? What can I fix on my own? What I might need help with? You email me, drjay at Triple P Life, and I will send it to you for free. This is a $500 value that I'm giving away for free for my entrepreneurs because I want to see you be successful. And I want you to understand, right, in your business, where the obstacles, where the challenges, more importantly, where the opportunity is. I'll send it to you. And as a further gift, if you fill that out and send it back to me, I will do a half-hour free consultation, which is equivalent to another $500. So that's $1,000 value I am giving you for listening and being part of this 3-part series on entrepreneurship. $1,000 value. So you're going to get my proprietary business audit. If you fill it out, complete it, send it back to me. I'll give you a link and we'll set up a time where I will go over it with you. You'll get a free half-hour consultation of my time, which is worth another $500. It's my $1,000 offer to you. So don't pass it up. It's a great opportunity. Love to get a chance to talk with you. So as I say, guys, each time after each amazing show, and this has been a fun episode to do. I love doing this 3-part series. We're going to be doing more in the future. You be you. Just be the best you. And I promise you, you will always empower your dreams, ignite your passion, and accelerate your prosperity. So until next time, be well.